The digging had hardly started when a Jeep roared down the track from the direction of the battalion headquarters. As it braked to stop in the cover of the trees, Jimmy Gray jumped out and ran towards us. Gray's news was startling. We were all to withdraw to Wolfhazen in 15 minutes' time. One could not just stand up and walk away from an enemy right on one's heels. In daylight, the only way to withdraw was to move by bounds with platoons and companies covering one another back. Any other plan was madness. Things over in the north must be bad indeed for the colonel to be rushed in this way, but Gray's instructions were unshakable. So they're digging in and they're getting an order, get out of here, we're going to leave. And he's saying, okay, that's fine, but guess what? Even when you leave, you still use the fundamental principle of cover and move. Yeah. And that's what he's wanting to do. So now they're on the retreat, and here we go back to the book. The pace was far too quick. Some men were all but running to keep up. As I had expected, little by little, cohesion was starting to break down. Some of the men of the mortar platoon had overtaken us despite the weight of the loads and were mixed in among us. There were 2 small groups from another unit in the middle of 7 platoon. From somewhere in the front, a long way off, a Spandau sent its bullets flying harmlessly overhead, but men were looking apprehensive and flinching. We were now under fire from 2 different directions. At any minute, the Boche would find the range, and then the slaughter would begin. It was no longer an orderly retreat. The withdrawal was taking on the nature of a horde of men seeking safety. Soon discipline would crack and everyone would start to run. What a target we must be. Some 500 men from 4 or 5 different units rapidly coalescing into a solid moving mass. Yeah, this is just a nightmare. And you can imagine it's an individual thing, and you're going to see some great leadership examples, but it's an individual thing because if you can keep the teams working together, covering and moving for each other, that's good. You're going to keep the enemy's heads down. But if people in the group start saying, you know what, I'm not going to cover, I'm going to run. Yeah. And now no one's covering. And now you've got a bunch of people that are moving and no cover, and that's when you're going to get slaughtered. Not only are you going to get slaughtered by people that are shooting at you, but if you're not putting down cover fire, the enemy maneuvers. They don't just sit there. I mean, some of them will be shooting, but they'll be shooting, but other elements of them are going to move, and they're going to be able to cut you off.